Alright, hey guys, how you doing? Welcome back to the sub build. Last time we got this shell nice and made, got the engine and the battery in there. And today, well, I thought I'd start on some of the more primary features. I don't know what yet, but we'll see. Kind of lean a bit. I don't remember eating that much. Alright, so there's a couple things I want to do in the engine room back here. And the first thing is that we're going to have these propellers driven independently, so enough of that pipe work there. We can just direct drive those motors individually, otherwise it wouldn't turn. And a couple things I wanted to do to the engine was get a bigger fuel tank, because right now we've only got this medium, which is only about 300 or so litres, and there's this nice space back here that I can make a big custom fuel tank, and hopefully that will last a bit longer. To pump the exhaust out, if you're really deep underwater, you're going to need a lot of power and a lot of pumps. With the new catalytic converters, you can basically have little to no exhaust being sputtered out, and so you can store a lot more. And so I'm going to add a exhaust tank. Okay, with some storage, so we can come straight up from the air, and this way we can use just a straight pipe, and there we go. You're only going to be pumping air at the surface, so the pressure is not going to be insane, so we can just have a single air pump in. Even if it was insane, we're still pumping in. But for exhaust, I kind of want to be able to do it a bit lower. I don't want to have to fully surface, so we're going to get some bigger pumps on here now. Alright, cool. So 2 large pumps in there and a single small pump for the air. Pretty good. Okay, with the engine running now, I want to try and sort out the weight balance here. So it's obviously a very tail heavy submarine right now. We need some weight blocks at the front, maybe. I don't know, I might try shifting some of the engine and that forward, but I don't think I'm going to be able to. So I think I know what colour the underside of the sub's going to be. And a little tip here with weight blocks: if you don't like seeing the dot plague, or whatever you want to call it, the like ugly dots I guess on the bottom of your sub, what you can do is actually come up here, and this colour right here is actually the same colour as the dots. Alright, that's better. We've got pretty much the whole of that is now completely level, and the propellers are under the water and dive planes are under the water mostly. So yeah, that's pretty good. Cool, so there we are. That is the current paint job that I have applied. Devs really need to fix the bug where on painting these angled blocks, the mirror mode just doesn't seem to work. So that was a bit of a pain, but there we are. That is all we've got. So I do like a roll cage on a submarine. It just makes it look more heavy duty, a lot stronger. And thinking about it, on this submarine here, if say you had to have a collision from the bottom, this glass has got no protection on it. So thinking having a cage kind of come around here and using some pipes and maybe stretching up here, maybe securing these propellers a little bit, I think that'll really give it some depth and make it look a lot better. There we go. That took a lot longer than I would have thought. I did some XML editing for a rare time, and I think it turned out alright. We've got a nice little roll cage shape there. It did kind of glitch the game out a bit sometimes when building, so I might save another version of this without the roll cage for now. As you can see, it comes around the canopy and up, so this is now fully protected from any collisions. So now the sub's coming together, and well, if we're underwater, then right now we're not going to be able to see much, so I think we should get some spotlights on this. So after some extensive trial and error there, I have found a lighting setup that works and looks pretty good. We've got 4 spotlights as our main headlights here, and they are on pivots there so they can angle downwards. I think I'll have that on a adjustable lever or something in the end, but right now they're just set by these constant numbers. I also have 2 fixed forward facing ones on the roll cage there, just for a little extra lighting, and I also have, I went for a single in the end on each side, and they both are pivoted by these hidden in here to basically go at an angle. I also have another 2 fixed at the back here on the roll cage again, just for some rear light in case we need it. So I'm gonna leave the lighting there. I don't want to spend too much time of the video on lighting, but we should get to some more important things like getting some controls in here, because right now I don't really do much. We can go inside, we can sit in a seat, and that's about it. So I've been making some microcontrollers for some screens and stuff. So let's start with the entranceway, and that's going to be the pump controls. So here we have the monitor. It has the state of the airlock here. We have the water level and the drain button there, and also our pressure outputs here. So as you can see, just spawning it in and opening that, we've got a little bit of water run in here. So we've got a display of water present, and we also have our pressure down here, and right now it says optimal. That means our pumps are going to be working pretty fast and pretty safely. So we can go ahead and drain that, and you'll see it will drain, and there we go. And so now there's no water in here whatsoever, and we can safely enter. Pretty cool. I have spent a long time and a lot of trial and error trying to fit 3 pretty large screens into a kind of small cramped space and trying to get them all angled. I think I got a pretty good result in the end, and well, the next screen we can do is this one up here, and that's going to be our drive data, so things like throttle and the autopilot. And there we go. So this is the drive screen here, and if we press W and S here, it will increase our throttle. We can also use A and D, which are currently the wrong way around. And if we press Z here, I don't have a control labeled for this, but we can press Z. We're now on cruise throttle, which I am not pressing anything anymore, and we're now driving. But if I took it off, we're back to where the seat naturally resets to. If we press the S key and we go backwards, we can see it still increases, but with a red. So we're now reversing. We can do cruise again and everything. We have our speed there, and we can test the tank steering, and we are turning on the spot, which is perfect. Alright, so for the next screen, I actually have to do one of the major things, and that's the depth hold. And I'm going to be using 4 propellers, and they're going to be independently controlling depth of each corner. So to do that, we're going to grab some propellers here, and what we want to do is sort of measure out the center of mass of our sub, and kind of have them at the same distance away from the center. Now that the sub depth hold is fully calibrated now, I was able to finally put in the main output data control panel here. We also have the speed one there. This one, I don't know what I'm going to put there yet. I've got a few ideas, but this is going to be the main readout. So we have battery, we have the distance to seabed, which currently isn't wired up. I haven't put in any distance sensor on the bottom yet. We have the depth here, which is measured off one of the altitude meters of the depth hold system, so you can clearly read out and compare it to the target depth there. We also have battery a minute, and this is pretty cool because we can actually see what our power consumption is, and we can kind of estimate how long the battery is going to last. And then these are not connected up yet, but these are for the generator. So we're going to have our air content, the fuel content, and also the exhaust for the tanks of those respectively. We also have the generator. If that comes on, then this will say on, obviously. So let's try it out. So we press forward, and we have the battery being used up there. And because it's a large battery, and we're only using 2 motors, we're barely using any battery. So we got about 100 minutes if we're just driving like this, and that's without the generator on and all its fuel and everything. So that's pretty promising there. But what we can do is, I have a couple, if you can see, of controls here for the target depth. Instead of using the keypad, which is maybe an intense moment, changing a keypad is pretty long. So what you can do is you can just press a button down and it changes it, which is very useful. And currently the motors powering our depth hold are off. They were just constantly on before, but now they're actually wired to a electric relay, and so they actually can't use any battery even if you've been using them and then you turn them off. So what we can do is, let's go up a bit. We don't want to go 12 down, might hit the bottom here, but we can hit the depth hold now. As you can see, our depth starts to increase, and I'm pretty happy with where I got it. It's probably going to be broken again as soon as I add more weight and shift the weight, but yeah, so it goes down fairly slow, but it's very stable, and you can precisely adjust your depth with this. So there we go, we're hovering at about 0.35, which is sort of close to our target depth. I couldn't get it exactly perfect, but as you can see, we barely move. We're pretty much completely stationary here, and because we can turn on the spot here with our tank steering, and yeah, we can fully maneuver underwater, and we're going to be completely stable, and I'm super chuffed about this depth hold here. So yeah, so guys, hope you enjoyed that video. Be sure to comment any suggestions you have for the build and future builds to complete our mission, and yeah, leave a like and subscribe, hit that bell so you don't miss the next iteration of the sub build. So yeah, I'll see you later.